one. They produce 3 crops of watermelon a year, every year.
There's some more popcorn up there, somebody needs some.
I wish I could remember what that is, and I can't. Okay, this is a bus terminal. We did not use that particular bus, but it's simply a landmark because I didn't say anything that said "Welcome to Mount Tabor." But this is the ascent going up to Mount Tabor. Mount Tabor is the place where tradition holds that the Transfiguration took place. And this is a Roman Catholic church that is built on that supposed spot. The Matthew account, Jesus took Peter, James, and John, Peter's brother, and brought them up unto a high mountain. He was there transfigured before them. His face shined shone as the sun. His raiment was white as the light. And behold, there appeared unto them Moses and Elijah talking with him. And I know part of that's been cut off. That's my inadequacies with the PowerPoint. Then answered Peter and said unto Jesus, and brothers and sisters, this is just like every one of us would react. Lord, it is good for us to be here. If thou wilt, let us here make 3 tabernacles, one for you, one for Moses, one for Elias. And while he yet spake, behold, a bright cloud overshadowed them, and behold, a voice out of the cloud, which said, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. Hear ye him. And when the disciples heard it, they fell on their face and were sore afraid. And Jesus touched them and said, Arise, and be not afraid. This is more to the point, the spot where that is to be said to have occurred. The church is over here. The church from the previous slide, or a couple of slides back. This is an ancient Byzantine church that was there. This is the ruins of it. And so they did not build over it. They simply went next door to it. This is inside, and the edifice itself is magnificent. If you appreciate architecture, I've always said, Brother John, I've told you 100 times, them Catholics can build a church. And if you appreciate architecture, it is breathtaking. This is over the main altar, which we know that there is no altar in the New Testament church. Jesus Christ is our altar, and the sacrifice. But they would call it the altar. The altar would be down here. This is overhead. To this side is a similar thing, but smaller, and it is celebrating Moses, and on this side is Elijah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get it right in a minute.
Same thing, Elijah, Elias.
What am I doing?
I don't know.
Okay, there, I hit the wrong button. That's all it was. It ain't the machine, it's me. That's the door going into that edifice. That's the one to Elijah on the left. You see the main altar there. This is the smaller one to Elijah. And on the right, the one to Moses.
Are they still active churches?
Yes, they are active, Brother Joe, in the respect of, you don't see signs in there saying potluck supper Thursday night.
Right.
But they still have congregations that support them. They may not support them with their attendance, but they support them financially.
And how old is that building?
Oh, that church is 100 years old. It's not terribly old.
Why do they have separate altars? One for Moses,
Remember, remember what Peter said to Jesus? Let's build a tabernacle.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, what
Yep.
are Catholics doing with it? Are they praying?
It's just for looks. No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
This is from the top of Mount Tabor. Mount Tabor is a very high peak. It's not the highest peak, but it is a very high peak. And this is overlooking, this is not the Jezreel Valley. What is that? Anyway, you're looking out. If you come this way, the Sea of Galilee is over here. I can't remember the name of the valley. This is another view. Isn't that beautiful? And literally, quite literally, you are seeing for miles when you consider this is the horizon back here.
There's a lot of lakes. Looks
I
like,
took that standing on the mountaintop.
oh, looks like there's a lot of lakes.
right here, here, and here, those are water reservoirs, cistern of some sort. They're probably man-made.
For the farming.
Yeah. These are ruins atop still Mount Tabor. That's one of my bestest friends, and this fella, and a lot of us bestest friends. This is Brother Emerson Proctor taking pictures of the same view I just took. Those of you who know Sister Randa Loach at the Savannah Church, this is her son and grandson. This is Craig and Walt. Again, still atop Mount Tabor, just the vegetation. Now, as you leave that area and start heading south, do you notice what's happening to the geographical area? It's getting a little more arid, and the vegetation a bit more sparse. And look here. That's greenhouses. And look how green this is. Of course, it's in the valley where the water flows. Oh, I went backwards, excuse me.
Looks like some of our cactus.
Yes, sir. This is the chapel at Cana where Jesus performed his first public miracle. It is very interesting to note that now some of these places I have my doubts about whether they're authentic or not, or like the Transfiguration, whether that church is built over the site where that actually occurred. I would consider doubt. This, however, under that church, let me go back. Under this church, you walk in through these doors right here, and you go into the sanctuary, to the right. You go through another door from inside, and you descend into the earth. And you come upon an excavated room. And in that room, if I can get to it. Before I do that, somebody want to tell me what kind of plant that is?
Craig Marble.
That's a poinsettia.
Oh.
This wall
Christmas.
is taller than my head. This is the top of the poinsettia, and there's the flower.
Christmas.
But as you descend, and that's in the courtyard of that church, as you descend into the belly of the earth under this church, guess what they've excavated? These are water
Pots, yes.
And this would at least be similar, if not perhaps even the one, to the water pots that Jesus' mother instructed the servants to fill. This is the place where Jesus is said to have preached that passage from Isaiah. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me to heal the... Brother Lindy, help me out here. I'm going off the top of my head. Give sight to the blind, hearing to the deaf, the crippled walk, the lame walk, or however it's worded, and the gospel delivered to those in prison, in bondage unto sin. That is where that was supposed to have happened. This is the...
Was that somebody preaching?
That's our tour guide. His name is Waleed. Waleed is very smart. He is a Palestinian Christian. Waleed's mother was Armenian. Not Armenian in the sense of that there's Armenians and Calvinists. Not that Armenian, but rather Armenian.
The nation?
Yes.
Yes.
They rather pretty much believe that unless you are Armenian, you're not going to heaven. And that's how you get into the Armenian church. You're born into it. And his mother is Armenian, and his father is a Palestinian Christian. And Waleed is a good mix of the two, and he's an interesting guy. He can quote to you the Psalms verse by verse, word by word from memory, the entire book.
Is his brother
Uh,
Armenian Orthodox?
Huh?
Armenian Orthodox?
I guess.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Okay,
not
right.
sure, buddy. He is a very knowledgeable man. He has some ideas about some things that I found a little quirky. So did the rest of us, but yet and still, I grew to love him dearly.
Yes.
This is overlooking the Sea of Galilee. We're back in the room. This is sunrise the last morning. We're packing up to leave. I've got all my stuff ready. And we had to get up a little earlier because the bus leaves early. You got to hit the road. And when I walked out on the balcony that morning, I was absolutely just awestruck. This was the most vivid sunrise that we had the entire time I was there. It was blinding. The sun reflecting off of that water. The vegetation there, as I've told you before, that's grapes that I bought on the street at the bottom of Mount Tabor. They were absolutely the sweetest I have ever put in my mouth. We are now going south from the region of Galilee, headed toward the Dead Sea. You see that pipe right there? That's about 15 feet across, and the Jordan River's running under it. And there it is. That's what most of the Jordan that you see looks like.
River Jordan. River Jordan.
All right. Bet Shan is an area of Israel that is rich in history. In the Old Testament, you would see this referred to, it is spelled B-A-S-H-A-N, Bashan. It has, through the ages since then in the Hebraic dialect, it's now been